Alrighty, what's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely day. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. Alrighty, guys. So big day tomorrow. We have FOMC. We're gonna have the rate decision at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we have Powell's presser. That's 30 minutes after 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. All right. Honestly, guys, we just gotta wait and see. I'm going to let you guys know my bias right at the start of the video, right here, right now. I do think we're probably going to be popping off FOMC / after FOMC. QQ, NASDAQ closed out in a bullish manner. At the start of, the week there, before the week started, on the weekly update, we talked about this pullback into the moving averages, into the 9 and the 21. Specifically the 21, you didn't quite get down there. But, we did just about test the 9 EMA today, and we printed a bullish candlestick off of there. Or at, a minimum, we see the bulls are stepping back in over here. Buyers are stepping back in. They're giving, the bears a battle there. Where we figured, in the area, they would be stepping back in. I don't think we're just going to, fade that tomorrow. I don't. I do think we're probably going to test 628.92, and I'm going to show you why in this video. I just think things are poised for new highs at this point. We have a lot of bullish charts right now, a lot of bullish moves happening here, and we have a lot of things just kind of consolidating in these bullish manners, and I'll point some of those out in this video as well. I'm going to go over QQ and SPY, go over the Magnificent 7 stocks, and then I have some trade ideas, some that are ready to go tomorrow, just for you at the end of the video. Okay, but start off with QQ, guys. 621, that is going to be your support. That's today's low underneath 621. That's underneath the 9 EMA right there. You have 614.03 up to 616. Okay, expect buyers down there. That's going to be around the 21. That's the most recent breakout level down there. And then on the upside, you have 628.92 above there. 637.01 all-time highs incoming. Honestly, this does not look bad to me. It really doesn't. But we'll see what happens if you take out today's low tomorrow. It's not the best look. We'll see if it just creates a lower wick. But yeah, you really just have to wait and see what's going to happen off FOMC tomorrow. That's going to be the market mover. And what happens the coming days after that, that's going to really tell us where that next little move is. I'm going to tell you right now, you either get this and then that, or you get this. There is a small chance they do this right here and fake, both sides out in the short term there. I'm not too confident something like that would go down. I will just point to all the consolidation SPYs already been having over the past 1 to 2 weeks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sessions where, yeah, you just got choppy price action. You got range bound price action taking place right now. That's why, in the weekly update, I said the most likely scenario, in my opinion, is we have this sharp move down at the start of the week that gets bought by the end of the week from slightly lower there. All right, worst case scenario, it closes red on the week and gets bought up the following week. That is what I was thinking. I'm still just going to say IWM. It looks like this thing's going to pop in the short term. Either that or just like SPY and QQ there, it just pulls back, comes to the 21 EMA, 244, 245 on this one, and then push up to all-time highs. But yeah, things look poised for all-time highs. I'm assuming that is going to be the case here. And IWM, guys, sick ass monthly chart here, brewing up with a break and retest going on over here. This looks like this is going to start a massive move, and maybe we do something like that. But like the dip gets bought, it gets bought. But yeah, that's levels there on QQ. That's what we're looking for in the short term. One of these scenarios to play out. Expect that the dip gets bought if it happens. If it presents itself, it presents itself. If not, then hey, we're moving back to highs. You take out 628.92, we're probably moving back up to all-time highs, 637.01 by next week. SPY. Okay, on the downside, you have 681.57. That's right around the 9 EMA. Underneath there, you have 675.56 up to, around 677. It's going to be around the 21 EMA. Again, weekly update. This is that, and then that. On the upside, 680.664. Take that out. You're probably hitting up to 689.70 all-time high at that point. 700 plus incoming. I think we probably see a vertical move up to $700. There you go. SPY, QQQ. All right, now moving on to the Magnificent 7 stocks. I'm just going to start with the best looking one. It's GOOG. All right, Google, GOOG, GOOGL, whichever ticker you choose. They're both the exact same. There you go. I trade GOOG. And this, yeah, this looks like this is just bullish consolidation, mean reversion going on over here after your most recent pop. Consolidating the bull flag. Looks like a breakout is imminent. You know, honestly, this looks ready to go. And if you come over to weekly, it really looks ready to go. I can see this turning into a green weekly candlestick, and all of a sudden you're back at 328.67 pretty quick. And then next week, you know, I can see this weekly candle turn into something like that, and then next week you get something like that. It loves having its gap ups over the weekend. Keep that in mind here on GOOG, recently at least. All right, this was a big hefty gap up there, 3.4%. This was a big hefty gap up there, 3%. Okay. This over here, nice 1.7% gap up. Even though you got a little baby guy going on. Either way, just something to take note of. That is exactly how, you know, this is played out. How this is played out. You got the gap up after this weekly close. Well, we're either getting something like that or something like that this week. If we're getting what I'm thinking. Okay. Either way, we're going to be keeping an eye on it. I think this is ready for its next pop. And yeah, like it or not, this monthly candle, I think we see 350 plus. Real talk, 345, 350. We'll see about it. But right now, you know, it's going to expand in one direction or the other. If it takes out the low over here of the month, really just this week's low, we'll just say it takes out 309.40. I think might come back down to 290. Okay, this monthly candle looks like it will expand. It's a baby candle right now, expected to expand. Likely going to be the upside with how this is setting up, but both setups can fail. So you got both sides covered, what we're talking about in this video. Microsoft, honestly, this is the second best looking one. Okay. Microsoft looks like it's getting ready for a comeback here, and it's just basing out underneath the 21 EMA, underneath where you broke down from, 492.37, key level right there. Rejection, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we about to do it? Okay, you closed underneath it, but you did not get a rejection today. There's no upper wick on that candle. This thing looks like in the short term it wants to start breaking up. I'm gonna expect that that's gonna be the case. Maybe get something like that. Okay, but if the market likes what it hears on FOMC, likes what it sees, likes what it hears, whatever we want to call it, this thing probably goes 505 to 510 pretty quick into end of week. So that's Microsoft. I think we might see the weekly 21 get reclaimed this week. There's Microsoft. About to go micro hard mode. There you go. Big hard mode. There we go. Microsoft. Big hard. Name change. Meta, guys. Selling off of the weekly 21. We knew this is where we were going to be looking for a consolidation around. We didn't know exactly how it was going to play out. Maybe you were going to push a little higher, do it. Okay. Maybe you just do this. Okay. And that's where we're getting right now. We are not looking for this thing to full on reject here. We are looking for consolidation to build out. And then honestly, either end of this week, I'm looking for a pop, or into next week, we get, you know, maybe a gap up, get it really going there. Either way, I'm looking for, you know, I was looking for the consolidation around here, 20 to 30 point range to build out. As of right now, you have a 23 point range in between last Thursday's high and today's low. So I do think we are going to be pushing up in the short term. I can't say if it's going to happen tomorrow, but I can say I think downside is limited from here before a pop on Meta. Okay. I do think this is likely going to turn to a big green monthly candlestick here, just like you got over here. We're just pivoting off of the monthly 21. And yeah, it looks pretty great. Pretty great. We'll see what happens. Okay. That's Meta. Amazon, first green weekly candlestick out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red ones. Okay, so out of 6 candles, it's the first green one after 5 red ones. A lot of these times when you see these, you know, multiple red candles in a row there, and then you start getting the first green one, it marks either you're not going much lower than that, meaning like you get something like that before a decent pop, or you're just in the short term, that was your little short-term bottom, and you're going to get a pop over the coming sessions. Regardless, that's what I'm going to be looking for in this name. It's also right here off the weekly 21. So, you know, that's the reaction spot. It's finding buyers off of. Not going to give you exact prices to go off here. You know, if you wanted a level, I guess 232.82, that looks like a good spot on the upside. Above 232.82, you have 238.85 and then 242.52. I would say 232.82 in the short term looks like it's about to be tested. Just another thing suggested, maybe we're about to get a pop off FOMC there, or at least around there. Tesla really not looking all too bad. I don't know. Maybe Tesla's gonna start ripping some faces. Either way, I'm not participating in it. I don't think there's a reason to. We got plenty of going on right now. Plenty of big movers going on right now. I'll definitely say that. We have a nice market right now, even though SPY and QQ have not been moving really anywhere. Yeah, we're getting some nice moves, guys. And I got some names for you right after this, okay? We got 3 more names to cover. But Tesla above 458.87, you have 474.07, then 488.54. Up there, you have your all-time high breakout, ladies and gents. And this is a giant bull flag at that point. And this thing goes like that, 550 to 600 bucks pretty quick. On the downside, if you do lose the 21 and you get underneath 430 again, okay, it's 428.94. 430 is big psych level in everyone's heads though. Okay, so underneath 428.94, you have 414.50. That's the next big spot. Lose that, and really it's kind of telling you, okay, this thing probably getting ready to come down there. Whether it wants to bounce in the golden pocket or not sure if it would or not. Okay, but you get underneath here, probably is going to bounce around here. Might get something like that, or you might start sinking, bounce around here, retest this level, and then start sinking, okay? But if the market wants to turn south, I think everything else holds up. I think Tesla might go to shit. But at the same time, I am not going to, you know, put my head in the sand here and say, you know, this is a bearish chart. This is definitely a bullish chart. Monthly bullish, weekly bullish. This is getting ready for a massive breakout. Maybe it's about to happen, okay? It's now a 3-month range we got going. It's a 2-month range we got going on here in around the same spot here. You had a false breakdown, got back above. You know, all it takes is you getting above 474.07. I think, yeah, you probably do make it up to 488.54 and then start that breakout. And this time is going to be the first time this whole time that once this daily cloud over here flipped red after one of your runs, it didn't end the run. All right, but that's typically what you get. You make a lower high, and then that's all she wrote. Regardless, this looks like it might be getting it going, and you know, once it breaks out, then maybe it's time to get involved. But I personally wouldn't even want to second guess this guy. I wouldn't want to go back and forth on it anymore. Look at the range bound action; it hasn't given you much to go off of for quite some time. You could trade on a day-to-day basis, but you know, premiums, weeklies, okay. You would have got 100% on this move today, and that's pretty much it. Maybe 150%. It's a big move, okay? This is a 3% move on here. You're playing weeklies. This thing, you know, I'm just saying, you know, I would want a little bit more. That's a big move, okay? If I saw that on Apple over here and I played weeklies, you see one of these candles? See 7 points right there? That thing's giving you more than, you know, 100%. More than 80%. You know, I'm just saying Tesla premiums are jacked. There's easy moves to be had. Okay. Google, you know, for example, Google, you could go with the 116 calls in this name and you catch a 15-point move and they go almost 100%. You have so like Tesla weeklies. Do you guys understand what I'm talking about? Okay. That's the scale of the move here. A 3.5% move here on Google. A 3-something trillion dollar market cap here, 3.8. You get on 116 calls that have 35 plus days on them. Okay, I think it's 38 days. You get a 100% move with the same percent move you would on Tesla with a weekly. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not worth trading Tesla. That's what I'm getting at. So don't think I'm just a Tesla hater. I've traded in the past. I know how these things work. And this thing, it's honestly options. It's not too appealing. It's not. At once upon a time, like there's good volatility on this name, but you know, recently, no, it's not even predictable volatility. It's not. Okay, so that's Tesla. Apple, you're at the 21 EMA. You had a long upper weekly wick last week, so I don't think this thing is just going to pop right back up. But hey, if the market just starts moving up, I think everything's going to be moving up into end of week. If that becomes the case, okay, Apple, it probably is going to participate. But if it loses to 21, then it's not participating. And that's that. And then you wait to see what happens from there. But the next level underneath there is really going to be down here at 265 again. Then 260 where the previous all-time high is. And yeah, we'll see about it. But it's Google right now. Google, Microsoft, Meta. And the Amazon over the coming session, I think, is probably going to find some buyers. All right, those are your Mag 7 stocks, guys. Nvidia as well, we could talk about that one. This weekly candle looks like it's going to expand. The largest company in the stock market here, 4.5 trillion. And yeah, I think this weekly candle is going to expand to the upside. I think we probably get 190 plus this week. I know we got an after hours the other day, but it was a giant pump and dump. And by today, this morning's open, you gave back the entire move and more. So I'm just going to say, I don't know how this thing's really going to be moving in the short term. It's pretty irrational what's going on. I don't like how the news is affecting it so much. I would have liked no news and just the chart to tell me what to do. And that would have been way better in my opinion. But Trump likes to make a scene and piss off the other guy, pretty much. He likes to wave in his face, hey, US, we're taking back control of this AI race, okay? We are taking the lead again. You know how we're going to do it? We're going to sell our chips to China. That's the big move I'm going to make. We're going to sell them to you, and you're going to be responsible for buying our chips. You guys are going to be responsible for us maintaining dominance in the AI race. Why would he tell the world this? No freaking clue, okay? That's my wording. It's not his wording, but that's pretty much exactly what he did, and it made no sense. And then, Chinaman today decides, hey, okay, you're not going to take control of us. We're going to not buy your chips. That's what I thought. You think you're just going to, smack me in the face in front of everyone like that? No. So that's what happened today, and Nvidia didn't like it. That's pretty much it. That explains this giant pump and dump. I hope you liked my story. That was story time. Like, and it's based off the stock market. Nice child's, if I was to explain the stock market to my child, that's how I do it. Okay. That's my little storybook to read to him at bedtime. Right there. Okay. But it looks like it wants to pop in the short term. It looks like we're probably going to get a move going. I'm still going to keep it on my radar. I might be playing it over the next 1 to 2 weeks here. I'm thinking it is going to pop in the short term. If the market goes, I think Nvidia goes regardless of the news. Above 185.66, where you couldn't get above today. Above 185.66, you have 188 and then 190. And there you go. And then you have, 190, 150 looks like a nice spot there. Then above there, 195. Okay, so those are your Magnificent 7 stocks, guys. I think the Mags ETF looks pretty much exactly like QQ, and it's still poised for all-time highs, pull back or not, poised for all-time highs. Maybe it pulls back over here to 65.73. Maybe. Who knows? We'll wait and see. Okay, FOMC tomorrow is going to give us, it's probably going to provide clarity. I think we're probably going to go on one direction or the other tomorrow and stop, this going back and forth action we're having the past few sessions here on SPY and QQQ. Past really 1 to 2 weeks here on SPY. All right, 9 session. We haven't really moved. And you keep selling every rip. And you keep buying every dip. It's range-bound price action above moving averages. It's not bearish. It's just... it looks to me like this thing could either do that or tomorrow it breaks above this level right here, pushes all-time highs, and that's all she wrote. Either you get that, slightly make the high, pull back for like a few sessions, and then get bought as you fake everyone out, second guess, whoop, gap up. All right, or you kind of just go. I'm thinking you kind of just go, and that would be cool. All right, but now time for trade ideas. Okay, so I already talked about GOOG, guys. That's my top Mag 7 stock right now. Meta on the pullback there. I like it, but at the end of the day, I would like you to start pushing up, and I want to see that structure build out. I think we got a few more days of consolidation here, but hey, maybe it's going to start really pushing tomorrow with the market. If it makes a new high of the week over here on Meta, okay, if it really pushes tomorrow, okay, it's probably going to go all at once. Maybe I was thinking a gap up, honestly. This thing loves going with its gaps, or it's going to print one of these bad boys and it gets a 4 to 5% stick all in one day, and it would be pretty sexy. And all of a sudden you're at 690, $700. Okay, so that's Meta. But yeah, Google over here looks a bit more predictable. It's consolidating this range. Pick and choose where you want to long, okay? But if you long on today's candle, maybe you want to risk today's low. It's up to you. But I will tell you, no matter what, you I mean, honestly, it looks like if you make a new low of the week here, okay, so early warning sign that it's not working out, 311.91. Break that, you're probably coming down to 309.40. If you do that, I do think you're going to get like 290, 295. And we get the larger mean reversion here on the weekly, finally test the 9 EMA there. Okay. But until proven otherwise, expect this thing to dips to be bought over here. Okay. So if you see a dip tomorrow, could long it and kind of risk over here 311.91 or risk 309.40 if you want, wider risk. It is up to you, completely up to you. I don't care. I'm here to put the idea on your radar here. This thing looks like it's consolidating before another move up. At a minimum, it looks like it's consolidating before this move right here over the next 1-2 sessions. Then it pulls back and it does a whole lot of this crap right there, just like we had happen right exactly here. Or it's going to go something like this. Regardless, you had one test of the highs, you had a second test of the highs, and then you finally went after that. It could also do some crap like that. Okay, something like this. Ta-da! All right, so we have two scenarios here. And it also can just go like this. But I feel like this is the most likely one right here. That being said, okay, realize on the last breakout, once you got up here, you danced around for a whole week right here. You had plenty of time is what I'm getting at. Okay, the big moves happen the next 1 to 2 weeks from that. Over here, the day of the breakout, actually before the breakout, you had time. Okay, and then once the breakout actually happened, you got a daily close over here. Look at you danced around. This is 1 session, 2 sessions, 3 sessions, you're in the same spot, and then bada bing, bada boom, all at once, it goes 20 points. All right, so don't think you have to rush into this guy right when it's pushing up here, because you probably will have, a more ideal entry point with more structure built out if you give it some time, if you just wait for it. Let the market tell you what it wants to do there. All right, so that's Google. That's GOOG. Walmart, top watch for move tomorrow, guys. Ideal scenario, get a little gap down tomorrow, get a slight pullback off the open, take out today's high, which is up at 115.72, and that tells you you're probably going to take out 116.27 there. And yeah, I'm looking for this weekly candle to expand, take out last week's high, and bada bing, bada boom. Okay, that's really what we're looking in the short term. Okay, most of these days right here, I actually pointed this out when it was happening. Okay, the first hour of the day, it likes to get a nice move, and you can see that on the 30-minute here. Let's just take that off right there. Okay. For quite some time, you can come all the way back down here. All right. And starting on this day right here, that first half an hour, you were getting over a point move. Okay. Or like the first hour you're getting, first hour. I think that's what I was back testing. Either way, you're getting this thing ripping faces right off the open after a slight pullback every single one of these days. Okay. So I'm just saying, not that day right there. There's 2 days during this time period, this run here, where you didn't get that. But look at it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 8 times 7, 6 of which had that, right there off the open there. And if it didn't happen on either of those days, the 2 days where it didn't happen, guess what? It pulled back, and then around 12 o'clock, this I remember from back testing there, around 12 to 12:30, this thing started breaking above the 15-minute 21 EMA out of that base, and then it had a 1-point move out of that base, all right, into the close. Okay, so you got that, and you got this one going on over here. You have that. You really see it going right there into the close. Okay, right there. So yeah, that is a move that I'm going to be watching for tomorrow. I'm going to be looking for this thing to have a slight pullback off the open, or maybe it doesn't want to pull back too much. Okay, but most of these candles do have that lower wick going on. So we're going to look at that, and then if they could take you over 116.27, I think we get 117, 118 literally tomorrow or the next session after that. And this is a move that I think it's probably gonna, let's look at it this way. Okay, probably going to move on its own no matter what. So this is a trade you could take without FOMC. Okay, you look for this in, I just talked to you, showed you the proof over here that, over the past 1 to 2 weeks here, the whole move, Okay, pretty much that whole thing, you know, 6 out of 8 of those sessions there along this straight vertical move happen off at the open. They start from the open. So, you know, do whatever you'd like with this name, but I told you it either happens off the open there, or you likely do get that dip, and then it happens at 12:30. Okay, and let's just say you get a red candle going. Honestly, then it's probably just building out a range right here. Okay, you know, something like that before something like that. Okay, but yeah, Walmart, it's on another tear, and I expect this tear to continue at least for the short term. I think you get another leg up. I think we get at least 118 along this run. But Walmart in the short term, there you go. I told you to expect dips to be bought. This is one of the, you know, the names I put on your radar on the weekly update. You got a 3% dip. Okay, I wasn't saying it was ideal to long up there. You had this nice upper wick, but yeah, you got a 3.4% dip off the highs there, right into the 90 EMA, and now you're getting bought. It's ready for new highs, 116.27. That's Walmart. APP, guys, I really wanted this thing to pull back. The thing does not want to pull back. The thing is going to all-time highs right now, and I don't think we're going to have a meaningful pullback before this thing is at like 770, 780. I would say maybe just goes to 800 plus. This thing looks like it's about to just continue ripping faces, and this looks like this next 1 to 2 monthly candles here can just get up to 900 bucks. I mentioned it the past few videos here. You know, it hasn't pulled back for me this whole entire time, so I personally haven't gotten in. That's it. I got, you know, a contract over here, and it was meant to be a starter position, and it's something I just never added to, and then I took it off really early. I think it was on this day right here, and then the thing just wants to keep ripping faces. It's honestly the strongest name I'm seeing in the market right now. It's doing whatever the heck it wants to do, whereas, you know, SPY and QQ doing a whole lot of, you know, they're still moving up steadily, but yeah, they're not like this guy over here. This guy's been a monster. So yeah, all-time highs incoming, likely going to happen tomorrow. 745.61. Expect dips, tongue twisters over here. Expect dips to be bought on this name. Okay. And yeah, above 745.61. I think 770, 780 is going to be coming in the short term. If not, just 800 bucks. And that's that. That's APP. CELH, guys. Data center stocks are hot today. So I'm just going to point out right now. CELH, Cypher, Wolf, APLD. Okay, you know, these names are starting. They all have a similar look. Wolf, Cypher, and CELH all have pretty much the same exact look. I honestly really like Wolf over here. Inverse head and shoulders pattern right there. You know, regardless, you have a high, you have a higher low. Looks like you want to push into the higher high in the short term. This looks explosive. You know, this looks like it's getting ready for another leg. It could not lead to another leg. It definitely looks like that's exactly what it's shaping up for. I would say it's safe to assume that that's going to be the case. So that was Wolf, WULF. This is Cypher over here, CIFR. They all have this similar consolidation going on right now. And, you know, this brings me to my next one. So I am looking for a breakout above 2160 in the short term here on Cypher. I think it's probably going to have another green session tomorrow and take out 2116. I think maybe we get 22, 23 bucks. At that point, it's on its way to all-time highs. But CELH over here, honestly, this is kind of looking more appealing to me right now than Cypher over there. I like, honestly, Wolf and CELH here are really, they're standing out. I really, you know, I like Cypher too. And I do want to point out APLD. Okay, just expect that these dips get bought on this name. It's not a name that I want to trade. It's not, but this is another data center stock that's starting to, yeah, it looks like new highs are probably going to be coming here in the short term here in December. And this is a big monthly base over here that, yeah, probably, you know, is going to be another big mover. Like you have, you know, this is a 9 billion market cap. Cypher and Iron, guys, these were pushing 15, 20 bill. Okay. You know, Iron over here is another data center stock that we're going to talk about right now. Okay. So Iron is also basing out here, and it's just kind of lagging behind these other names. But this was once the leader. This is what led Cypher over there. This is what led Wolf. This is what led all of those names. Okay. It is, you know, looking like it's just a matter of time until this pops back above the 21 EMA here. It's now the third rejection, okay, but the level to watch is 49.39. Above there, you have 51.50 and then 54.06. Now, above 54.06, is when I think this is a 4-week base here. I don't think, I know it's a 4-week base here. I think this thing is going to see 60 plus very, very much so shortly after it takes out 54.06. And then maybe this wants to push right back up the highs. We'll see what happens here. I really do just like Cypher, CLSK. These are the names that I'm trading, that I'm paying attention to. And CLSK here looks pretty identical to what you had going on over here. Okay, just I'd argue that this is a lot cleaner. You have the cloud flipping back to green. You're now basing for, about 2 weeks here above the 21 EMA. It's not looking bad at all. Weekly candle, I was watching for the expansion above 1554 last week. When we didn't get it, then I said I was watching for something like over here where you get the slight gap up and then you take out that high and yeah, you rip. We'll see if it happens here. 1554, that's the level to break. I think this honestly goes 18 to 20 pretty quick. I think this move starts this week and it will continue next week, just like this one started over here. And it really got the big move the following week from that high, went another 33%. That's like us going up here, $17 this week. And then all of a sudden it's going another, 25, 30% next week is at $22. Current price, $14.77. Wouldn't it be crazy to see this at $22? Yes, Henry will have called the 50% move by next week if this is going to go down like last time. We'll see about it though. 18 to 20, I think, is incoming. All right, CLSK, Cypher, RDDT, Reddit. Okay. Yeah, it's building something out here on the daily, and it looks like this is about to pop in the short term. I'd assume this is going to either get a gap up or this starts pushing tomorrow. If it opens in this range and then takes out 238.20, very likely it's going to get 241, and then you have 246.43 and then 253.14. I think the 250 psych level is about to be tested. And yeah, I think this weekly candle is about to expand. Let's look at this way. Okay. Once these things did expand in the past, what do we got? You have 11% above last week's high. You have 13% here. Okay. You have this one going 10%. You have this one, the smallest one being 6% there. Okay. So you have that 8% there, 7%. So it looks like the smallest we had 6%. Well, what's 6% above last week's high, guys? 253. Okay. So I'm just saying, I think 250 plus is probably going to be coming in the short term. This looks like it's getting ready. This is compressing here. It's getting ready for a pop. We'll see if we get in the short term. Okay. Expect dips to be bought as well in this name. Maybe it goes a little like what you had over here where boom, this day looks pretty tight. It does not look like what we had right now. This looks pretty beautiful. This looks like, something over here. And yeah, I just kind of say if it gaps down slightly tomorrow and then takes out 238.20, that's when you probably get the 250, 253 move. Okay. That's what you want to be trading. Okay. That's Reddit. MU almost back up to all-time highs, guys. This is one coming into the week that I pointed out. This and TSM were the two chip names that I was saying was standing out. Obviously Nvidia was top watch as well, but this I classify as a Mag 7 stock. It is obviously the thing that leads to chips. Okay. But SMH, this looks ready for all-time highs. AVGO, you have earnings here. I think tomorrow after the bell. No, Thursday after the close. Okay. You're going to have AVGO earnings. Chart doesn't look bad at all. Okay. But as far as chip names that I'm going to be trading, I like TSM and MU. MU, expect these dips to be bought. That's pretty much it. New all-time highs likely income in the short term. Current price is 252. All-time highs 260.58. Above there, I'd assume 280 plus. 280 plus and then 300 next. But this thing, I don't know. It's been consolidating for a few months now. It's been in this range. It's built out here, and yeah, it looks like this thing's gonna go like this, then that, or this thing's just kind of gonna start taking off. I'm not sure. I hope it pulls back. Something like over here, but we'll see what happens. TSM looks like it's ready for all-time highs. Maybe it's going to happen this week. All it takes is a 2.6% day, and this thing's at 311.37. Okay. It looks like this is ready for new all-time highs. And at that point, I think this goes 330 plus. There you go. Maybe it goes like way crazier because over here you went way crazier. Okay. That's 15%, 38 points above. Maybe we're going to see some crazy shit. We got to move up to 350. Okay. Either way, your boy Henry here on this channel had your back. Okay, I had your back after this week was printed right here. Right here. Okay, I told you about it. So it's TSM. Hood over here, you did get a decent move off the open there. You got about a 5-point push today. You know, this thing might pull back, might do something like that. Then, you know, we're either getting that or we're looking for this weekly candle to expand. I think more likely that this weekly candle is going to be expanding, and tomorrow maybe get a slight gap up. And then if you take out today's high at 139.75, that's when I would look for 143 to 144 tomorrow. We'll see if we get it. We will see if we get it. Okay, that's hood. I'll just point this out. Frog, I pointed this out in the weekly update. I believe it. Yeah, I think I did. I definitely did to the Discord. I don't know. I think I put it in the weekly update. It's not a name that I really was comfortable trading. But it was a name I saw on, you know, social media on 2 different accounts there. 2 different posts from 2 different accounts there. So I knew it was getting some social media attention. It does look like, yeah, this thing started popping today. In the past when this, I'll just point out, in the past when this thing is broken out, dips have been bought. Okay, you got over here, let's just look at this. Let's say this is going to play out just like over here. Well, once you finally get the breakout, which is right here, you get the daily close above that level. You had 1 dip, it got bought. You had 2 dips, it got bought. You had 3 dips, it got bought. You had 4 dips, it wasn't bought. Okay, so that would be like you literally getting this opportunity right here. And then it finally falls. It's not going to take that much time. Probably there. This is the daily chart. But yeah, a name that likely is going to see dips get bought over the next 1 to 2 weeks, and I thought I'd point it out. Okay, and then ASML, guys, I'm still thinking this thing is going to go a little vertical here. Either way, I gave it to you in the range. It's definitely made it up to new all-time highs. That was going to be our target there. Anybody who's long and down here, you're up a pretty penny, 50 to 100%, depending on what contracts you used over here. You know, 12.19 to 116. Up to you on how you trade these things. I'm just the idea guy. I got you with the charts as they're getting ready for our moves, and let's all try and make some nice coin. Okay, and then we can. That was easy. We can hit this button here more often. Okay, this button's been going a little possessed on me recently. Every time I make, you know, a sizable change, I get excited. You know, maybe it's just because maybe I'd be yelling. I don't know. But this guy likes to say that was easy without me even, you know, pressing it. So a little friendly ghost I got next to my desk. Beautiful, beautiful. The luck is with us. It is with us these last few weeks. But yeah, ASML, guys, it looks like it's just building out a range here above all-time highs. This looks like it's probably going to pop in the short term. If the market wants to move, if it likes what it hears off the FOMC tomorrow, this thing is probably going to start breaking above 1141.72, 1141.72, and then 1,200 bucks and coming over here on ASML. All right, that's what I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I really do. If you do, just please remember to leave a like. I also gave you, okay? I've been talking about this for a little while here since this week right here. All right, actually since that week, and then I confirmed it over here on this week for you. And yeah, this thing is now at 50 bucks, okay? If you are late to the party, I wouldn't be buying it up here. So just, yeah, it's very likely to have a pullback mean reversion at some point. Look to long that mean reversion. You can get tighter risk going instead of just longing up here. And then because let's look at it this way. You long up here and then it reverts the mean. And in my mind, I know it's probably going to get bought up on the first pullback after the breakout. Well, the mean reversion, that's what you want to long, but now you're in pain here. You're down 30 to 50% by the time it falls $4 to $5 back down to, you know, 9 EMA over here, okay? So just leave it alone for the time being. It's likely to get that pullback, and then you could take action. Of course, it doesn't have to get the pullback, but then leave it alone, okay, guys? I just gave you so many trade ideas to go off of. Most of them are bound to hit, but, you know, at least a few of them. Just don't. If they don't give you what you want, then they don't give you what you want. You don't have to. Just realize that we get these moves all the time, every single week. Okay, some weeks are drier than others, but let's be real about it. Yeah, even though the market's been doing absolutely nothing, we've been on a freaking heater. Hasn't mattered. And yeah, we have a lot of nice movers, and I still think we're about to see this big everything rally, and this is just the beginning. Okay, so if we can nail things, while SPY wants to dance here in a range, and then we get a pop off FOMC, give some life to some of these names I just mentioned here. You know, right there, that's the next move. Okay, we caught some nice moves in this range. I know it's not exactly range, slightly moving up. But yeah, you know, you get the pop off FOMC. Maybe it dips down for you. Okay, some of those names I was just pointing out, though, they're still bound to give you the moves. Okay, pay attention to them. Okay, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys are having a nice time in this market. If you want to have a nice time in this market, if you want to have my help giving you a nice time in this market, that link is going to be down below. I'm live every day. And yeah, okay. I will catch y'all in the next one. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your night here, and peace.